Welcome, dear traveler. Let me welcome you back to this space of primal peace, a sanctuary where all the noise of the outside world is left behind at the door. Tonight, we are in no hurry. Tonight, there is no need for you to accomplish anything at all. All the tasks of today have drawn to a close, and whatever belongs to tomorrow, let it rest quietly in tomorrow. Right now, this expanse of space, this fragment of time, belongs entirely to you. It is dedicated solely to nurturing and cradling your soul. After a long, bustling journey, there is an ancient philosophy held by those who dwell in the snow-laden lands of the far north, a place where winter stretches long, with deep, silent polar nights known as kamos. They believe that a human life is much like the changing seasons of the earth. There are vibrant summers with white nights, where everything moves and turns in a whirlwind of activity. Yet, there are also the winters of life, when darkness descends and the cold wraps around everything. That cold is not an end, but a necessary pause for all things to rest, to gather energy, and to guide people back to the warm hearth within themselves. The essence of peace is not gazing upon a sky devoid of storms. It is finding a safe, warm shelter right in the midst of the tempest. Your sleep tonight is just such a kamos season, a gentle interlude for your body and mind to heal and restore themselves in the most natural way possible. Before we begin our journey into that untamed, miraculous land of white snow, if you cherish the moments of stillness this channel brings to you night after night, please take a gentle moment to subscribe, like this video, and turn on the notification bell. Your quiet companionship and soft interaction are the very fire that warms this space, allowing us to keep meeting and sharing these sleep-soothing stories every single evening. Thank you for always being here, like a faithful, kindred companion. Now, let us begin the process of grounding and relaxing your entire body. Choose a completely comfortable position on your familiar bed. You may lie on your back with your arms resting naturally by your sides, or turn gently onto one side, as long as your body feels entirely liberated from any constraint. Readjust your pillow so that your neck and the back of your head are cushioned in the softest way possible. Pull the warm blanket up, draping it over your shoulders, and feel the soft, tender embrace of the fabric wrapping around you. You are in your safest space. Your room right now may be bathed in a soft, dim light, a perfect environment for your eyes to gradually close. Let your eyelids gently drift shut without any effort, simply allowing them to touch lightly, letting go of all the images of the long day that has just passed. Bring your awareness to your natural breath, and you do not need to alter your breathing pattern, nor do you need to breathe too deeply or too long. Just let your body regulate itself according to its most natural biological rhythm. Feel the cool, fresh air gently passing through the tip of your nose as you inhale, and feel the soft warmth radiating outward as you exhale. Inhaling, a source of pure, peaceful energy enters your body. Exhaling, all pressures, all wandering thoughts, and the fatigue accumulated within your muscles follow that warm breath out, dissolving into space. Your breathing is gradually becoming slower, steady, and soothing, like small waves out in the distant ocean, rhythmically lapping against the shore and receding, serene and repeating. Now, we will gently guide this relaxation through every part of your body, like a stream of warm water flowing softly, washing away all tension. Bring your attention to the top of your head. Feel the muscles on your scalp softening, becoming pliable and light. Let this relaxation slowly cascade down to your forehead. Soften the space between your eyebrows, where we often unconsciously frown when thinking. Let your forehead become as smooth and still as a glassy lake without a single ripple on a calm, windless night, and continue to let the relaxation spread to the muscles around your eyes, down to your cheeks, and the line of your jaw. Part your lips just a fraction, loosening your entire face, feeling a sense of weightless relief washing over your features. The warm current of relaxation continues down your neck, over the nape, and spreads across your shoulders. Your shoulders, after a long day of carrying so many burdens, can now completely drop, sinking deeper into the soft mattress beneath you. The relaxation cascades down both arms, passing through the elbows, the wrists, and reaching the very tips of your fingers. You might perceive a faint warmth or a very subtle tingling sensation at your fingertips. This is a sign that the energy of relaxation is moving, bringing true rest to every single cell. Direct your focus toward your chest. Feel the rhythmic rising and falling of your chest. With each breath, your heart is beating with calm, slow, and steady strokes. The relaxation flows down to your abdomen, then traces along your spine, soothing each vertebra and every tired back muscle. Your entire upper body has now become weightless, like a down feather drifting in midair, offering no resistance to gravity. Finally, let this relaxation descend into your hips, cascading through your thighs, down to your knees, your calves, your ankles, and the soles of your feet. Feel all 10 of your toes completely let go. From the crown of your head to the tips of your heels, there is not a single corner of your body holding on to tension. The weight of your body is now fully supported by the bed. You feel yourself sinking down into an endless layer of soft bedding, cocooned in a silk shroud of safety and warmth. Your mind is also becoming empty and still. If any thought happens to drift into your awareness, you do not need to chase it away, nor do you need to hold on to it. Simply let it appear like a small cloud drifting across the night sky, and then gently float away, returning the vast, dark, and peaceful expanse to your mind. You are entirely present here, in this moment, ready to begin a miraculous shift of consciousness. Your breath is steady. Your body is warm and at ease. Your soul is peaceful and free. Continue to maintain this wonderful state of relaxation, listening to the whisper of the space as you prepare to step into a pristine world where the northern lights await us. Now, as your entire body has relaxed completely and sunk deep into the comfort of your bed, let your mind gently detach from reality. Allow your imagination to become a traveler, slowly stepping across the boundaries of time and space, arriving at a distant land in the far northern reaches of the earth. This is Lapland, in the deep embrace of a winter night where time seems to stand still and all creation is blanketed by a pristine, pure, and utterly quiet beauty. You find yourself standing at the edge of Utsjoki, a small and peaceful border town nestled beside a frozen river. It is the time of the Kamos night, that special period of the year when the sun never rises, giving way to a vast, mystical polar night. The space is not a dense, heavy blackness, but a deep, velvet blue, a profound shade of the endless Arctic sky. This blue drapes over the rolling hills of the tundra, over the quiet, deserted pathways, shimmering softly under the gentle light of countless distant stars. Outside, the cold of -30 degrees Celsius envelops the landscape. Yet, strangely, this cold does not bring a biting or frightening sensation. Rather, it infuses the air you breathe with an absolute purity and clarity. Every breath you release instantly transforms into a plume of white mist, drifting weightlessly before dissolving into the void. Beneath the deep freeze of the Arctic, the ancient pine trees lining the path have frozen solid. Their branches bend low under the weight of soft, powdery snow, stacking into thick layers that look from afar like giant cotton candy trees standing guard over the peace of the forest. You begin to walk very slowly upon the thick blanket of snow. Feel the soft, crisp crunch, a tiny, gentle sound beneath your feet. With every single step you take, the snow here is as soft and powdery as a cloud of cotton cradling your feet, guiding you deeper into this peaceful expanse. The surrounding space is absolutely still, a primitive, untainted silence. It is so quiet that if you stand perfectly still and listen closely, you can hear the faint sound of tiny, soft snowflakes brushing against one another as they drop from the pine branches onto the powdery ground below. It is an exquisitely subtle sound, a silent lullaby of nature, soothing the landscape into its winter slumber. As you cast your gaze into the distance, past the boundless ancient pines and the vast openings of the tundra, you catch sight of a warm, golden orange light glowing from the window of a small wooden cabin standing solitary in the valley. This is the home of Aslak, a cabin built in the traditional style of the Sami people, with a low roof covered in a layer of green turf, now frozen beneath the white snow. The light emanating from that small glass window feels like an anchor of peace. Amidst the vast sea of velvet blue night, a tender invitation for weary travelers to find shelter. The closer you walk to the cabin, the more you can feel a subtle warmth radiating into the surroundings. The wind outside begins to whistle softly through the rocky crevices, blowing through the pine tops to create a low, murmuring sound, like the deep sigh of the great forest. But that sound only accentuates the stillness and safety of the little wooden house before you. From the chimney on the roof, a thin plume of pale gray smoke rises slowly, curling gracefully into the blue velvet night sky, carrying the faint aroma of burning ancient pine wood. You stand before the thick wooden door of the house. Before you step inside, leave all your busy thoughts and the worries of daily life out here, letting the wind and snow of the Arctic sweep them away. Bring inside only a light heart, ready to receive the warmth and peace that wait within. As the door gently opens, a current of air completely opposite to the -30-degree cold outside instantly embraces you. It is a world of absolute warmth, protection, and peace. The space inside the cabin is rich with a deeply comforting and familiar scent. It is the rich, steaming aroma of salmon soup, simmering to perfection with dill, blending with the sweet, tart notes of cloudberry tea, and the natural scent of pine wood from the log walls. In the center of the living room, a hearth filled with pine logs crackles softly, casting dancing, golden red flames that illuminate the thick reindeer hides. Carefully laid out across the floor, you feel a wave of relief rise within you, an absolute sense of safety, knowing that from this moment on, you are enveloped in a peaceful sanctuary where the storms outside can never touch you. You are ready to witness the story of two kindred souls in the land of white snow. As the thick wooden door closes behind you, the biting cold of the tundra is instantly pushed back, replaced by a space overflowing with warmth and comfort. The small living room of Aslak's home appears like the coziest winter painting you could ever imagine. The pine wood floor is lined with thick reindeer hides, soft and plush, bringing a deeply pleasant feeling to every step. In the very center of the room, a fire of pine logs crackles softly. The dry wood lets out tiny rhythmic pops, occasionally releasing small, playful sparks that glow brightly before dissolving into the gentle gray smoke. The smoke slowly ascends a copper pipe through the roof, leaving a sweet, woody fragrance of burning pine in the room, blending with the rich, savory aroma of salmon soup bubbling on the stone hearth. Aslak, a Sami man of 55 years, sits on a large wooden armchair with broad arm rests. His face is deeply lined by time, etched with the weathered marks of a life spent wandering and herding reindeer across the vast, mossy expanses of the Arctic tundra. Yet, in contrast to his rugged appearance, his eyes gleam with a gentle, wise, and serene light. He wears his everyday traditional gakti, a tunic of deep blue wool. The hand-embroidered borders of red and yellow thread at the collar, shoulders, and cuffs glow radiantly under the flickering firelight, like small embers warming his attire. In his hands is a piece of soft wool fabric, which he uses to slowly, meticulously clean an ancient shaman drum, the ancestral heirloom of his family passed down through generations. The drumhead, crafted from dried bull reindeer hide, is painted with ancient symbols using birch sap, depicting the sun, constellations, and the spirits of the Arctic forests. Every movement of his hands carries an absolute reverence and respect. Today is a special day. Aslak is not alone in this wooden cabin. Amidst the solitary valley, sitting opposite him, right beside the warm hearth, is Elena. She is a woman originally from Helsinki, who decided to leave the bright lights of the capital to settle in the land of Inari 3 years ago. Elena sought out this wild north to find tranquility for her soul after enduring the turbulent trials, breakups, and losses of midlife. Having stepped into her 50th year, Elena possesses a graceful, mature beauty of a woman who has walked through storms. Her hair, touched with silver strands, is neatly pinned at the back of her neck, revealing her elegant collarbone. Her shoulders are draped in a thick, warm gray wool shawl that she knitted with her own hands. Aslak, Elena speaks softly, her voice gentle and soothing, blending with the wind whistling lightly through the crevices of the wooden door. Do you think your reindeer will be cold tonight? The wind out there seems to be picking up. Aslak stops wiping the drum and lifts his head, smiling. His eyes crinkle kindly, creating warm crow's feet at the corners. He looks at the woman across from him, his deep, slow voice characteristic of the Highlanders, resonating with protective reassurance. Elena, the reindeer of Lapland, are born for the cold. Their fur has hollow strands that trap heat perfectly. No biting wind can penetrate it. Right now, they are curled up next to one another in the sheltered valley, welcoming the falling snow like a soft blanket. Mind your cloudberry tea, it is about to get cold. Elena laughs softly at his reply. Her hands hold a kooksy, a traditional wooden mug carved by hand from a birch burl, filled with the vibrant golden orange tea brewed from the precious Arctic berries. She brings the cup to her lips, taking a small sip. The tart and subtly sweet flavor of the berries spreads across her palate, warming her from her throat down to her chest. The meeting of these two souls 3 years ago felt like a timely and miraculous arrangement of destiny. Or, as the Sami people often say, it was guided by the spirits of the mountains and ancestors. Elena, having endured a painful divorce and a severe illness that nearly claimed her life, realized that the high-pressure office work in the capital was no longer what she sought. She left it all behind to find the wild lands. As for Aslak, he had lived in solitude for 10 long years, since his former wife left the village, unable to bear the endless winters, the absence of the sun, and the tedious nomadic life of a reindeer herder. Two souls bearing the deep scars of midlife crossed paths by chance at a traditional craft fair in Inari. That day, Aslak was sitting and selling knives crafted from reindeer antlers, while Elena was drawn to the intricate 10-thread embroidery on his belt. They looked into each other's eyes, and at an age far past youthful impulsiveness, they recognized the harmony of two lives needing a safe harbor. Amidst the gentle silence of the room, the wooden door suddenly opens, bringing in a rush of freezing air and a few white snowflakes. A young man steps inside, stamping his feet firmly against the wooden floor to shake off the thick snow clinging to his reindeer hide boots. It is Niilas, 25 years old, Aslak's nephew. Niilas is a strong, healthy native youth who helps Aslak care for and herd the family's reindeer. "Hello, Uncle Aslak." "Hello, Aunt Elena," Niilas says heartily, his youthful voice filling the room with cheer. The young man takes off his four-pointed hat, the proud Four Winds hat, worn by Sami men, and hangs it on the wooden rack by the door. It is freezing outside, cold enough to freeze your eyelashes, but the sky is clearing up. I bet Aunt Aurora will visit us tonight. "Come sit by the fire, Niilas. Warm yourself up first," Elena says warmly, her face bright with the joy of a woman nurturing a home. "I have just finished cooking the salmon soup, and there is smoked reindeer meat too." She slowly ladles the soup into a large wooden bowl, the steam rising thick and fragrant with the scent of dill. The three of them gather around the flickering fire, enjoying a simple yet highly nutritious dinner of the Arctic winter. The grilled Lipojusto cheese, unique to the region, begins to soften and become delightfully chewy as it soaks in the hot salmon soup. Eaten with homemade flatbread, it creates a flavor that is both rich and comforting, dispelling the -30-degree cold surrounding the wooden walls. During the meal, Niilas glances at his uncle, then looks over at Elena with a mischievous glint in his eyes. The young man cannot hide his humor as he speaks. "Uncle Aslak, for the reindeer festival in Inari next week, are you going to wear your most magnificent gakti? I saw Aunt Elena has already prepared a red silk shawl with tassels to wear alongside you. Everyone in the village keeps asking me when we will get to drink your wedding wine." Elena blushes slightly at the young man's straightforward question. She lowers her head, taking a sip of the hot soup to hide the gentle embarrassment of midlife. At 50 years old, love is no longer about grand vows, nor is it about the reckless passions or distant promises of youth. Their love now is a silent understanding, a warm gaze, a peaceful and sturdy shelter when the twilight of life approaches. Aslak sets his wooden bowl down on the table, looking at Elena with a tender, protective gaze, then turns to his nephew, speaking in a firm tone. "Niilas, mind your own plate." The matter between Elena and me, the Inari River has its own course. Do not rush the water when the ice on the river has not fully melted. Niilas varnishes a small laugh, knowing his uncle's character completely. On the outside, Aslak always appears serene and cool like the Arctic ice, but on the inside, he is a deeply thoughtful, warm, and boundlessly loyal man. After finishing dinner, Neela stands up, puts on his thick wool coat and his four-pointed hat, and asks to leave to check the reindeer fencing one last time before going to sleep. As Neelis's heavy footsteps on the snow grow faint and completely vanish into the boundless night wind, the wooden house returns to its original, profound quiet. The pine logs pop rhythmically, like the steady ticking of an ancient clock, witnessing the passage of the long polar night. Aslak slowly rises, walks to a shadowed corner of the house, and retrieves a small flute carved from the dried stem of an angelica plant, a plant the Sami call fadno. He returns, sitting on the chair right beside Elena, and brings the flute to his lips. The first notes resonate. The melody is melancholic, deep, and carrying the breath of endless snowy valleys and desolate, windswept hills. The Sami fadno flute does not have complex notes. It does not follow any modern musical theory. It is the voice of the heart, a pure imitation of the wind whistling through lonely rock crevices, the rustling of ancient pines when the blizzard sweeps through the great forest. Elena gently closes her eyes, resting her head on Aslak's sturdy shoulder. She feels the thick, rustic wool of the Gokti and the warm, steady heartbeat of the man beside her. Every storm of life outside, the betrayals, the hurts, and the heartbreaks of the past seem to stop right at the threshold of this little wooden house. Aslak, Elena calls softly when the flute music fades, her voice as quiet as a whisper into the night. Sometimes I wonder if my presence is disrupting the peaceful life you have always known. You are a man of the wild, of long migrations with the reindeer herd. And I am just a woman from the city, carrying a tired heart filled with scars. Aslak sets the fadno flute on his lap and reaches out, taking Elena's hand in his. His hand is rough, calloused from years of holding reindeer reins and chopping firewood, but right now it feels boundlessly warm and tender. Elena, do you know how we Sami people view time? Aslak asks, his eyes fixed on the fire, fading into glowing red embers that radiate warmth. We do not divide a year into 4 seasons like the people in your city. We have 8 seasons. Each season is a transition, a way for humans to adapt to nature. A human life is just the same. Our youth is like the summer with its white nights, where the sun never sets and everything is radiant, busy, and turning rapidly. But midlife is this exact Kamo season, the season of deep, quiet polar nights. He turns to look directly into her eyes, a gaze filled with a love as deep and enduring as the ancient Rocky Mountains. Winter is not a season of death or endings, Elena. It is a time for all creation to rest, to gather energy, and for people to draw closer to one another by the hearth. Your presence does not disrupt my life. You are the fire that warms the Kamo season of my life. Without you, this house would just be a wooden box shielding against the wind and the white snow, not a home. The sincere, rustic, and deeply philosophical words of the man from the snowlands bring a sudden moisture to Elena's eyes. She understands completely the seriousness and absolute devotion he holds for her. At 50, people do not open their hearts easily to another. but once they choose to do so, it is a commitment made with their entire life and honor. "Look, Elena!" Aslak suddenly speaks, his voice carrying a rare touch of excitement. He points toward the small glass window, looking out at the Arctic night sky. Elena looks in the direction of his hand. Against the velvet black canopy of the polar night, a faint ribbon of green light begins to emerge. It curves, soft and graceful, like the silk ribbon of an invisible dancer gliding through the boundless space. Gradually, the ribbon brightens, shifting from a pure emerald green to a soft violet at its edges, then fanning out like a magnificent canopy covering the entire sky. The northern lights, aurora borealis, the most splendid, mysterious, and sacred wonder of Arctic nature, have appeared. "It is beautiful beyond words," Elena whispers, her eyes wide, completely reflecting the mystical green light casting into the dark room. "Let us go outside for a moment," Aslak says. He stands up, takes the thick reindeer hide coat and drapes it over Elena's shoulders, then puts on his own splendid festival attire. He dons his four-pointed hat embroidered with intricate patterns, the silver buttons on his chest gleaming with ancestral heritage. Hand in hand, they step onto the porch. The cold rushes in instantly, freezing their breath into white clouds of mist the moment they step out. Yet, that cold cannot diminish the grand, majestic beauty of the earth and sky. Under the brilliant light of the aurora, the endless tundra and the ancient pine forest seem blanketed in a shimmering coat of silver-green mist. The snow beneath their feet crunches softly with each step as they walk into the center of the yard. Aslak holds the ancient reindeer hide shaman drum, standing in the middle of the snowy yard, facing the northern lights dancing wildly across the high sky. He begins to use the mallet carved from reindeer antler to strike the drumhead lightly. The deep, resonant beats echo into the stillness of the polar night, creating a primal rhythm that connects human consciousness with the boundless universe. A few moments later, Aslak begins to sing. It is a joik, the ancient, wordless vocal expression of the Sami people. His voice rises and falls, unconfined by modern musical rules. At times, it is intense and powerful, like the thundering hooves of thousands of reindeer running across the snow. At other times, it stretches long, soulful, and solitary, like the wind howling through desolate rocky peaks. Aslak's joik tonight is not to call upon spirits or pray for a new hunting season. It is a joik meant entirely for Elena. It is a song telling of a weary traveler who, after surviving all the storms of life, has found her peaceful harbor and her home in this distant north. Elena stands beside him, listening to that sacred, resonant melody. She does not understand the language of the song, for a joik carries no literal words, but she feels his entire soul, love, and commitment through every pitch and vibration within his veins. The melody weaves deep into her mind, washing away the last lingering sorrows and hurts, bringing her a sense of absolute peace and freedom. She feels that she truly belongs here, belongs to this man, and belongs to this land of Lapland, blanketed in white snow. As the joik comes to an end, Its resonant echoes seem to linger upon the frozen ancient pines. The entire landscape seems to hold its breath in that moment of complete fulfillment and happiness. Aslak turns to look at Elena, lowering his drum. From his leather belt, he detaches an ancient silver ring carved with geometric symbols of the Samai, the emblems of the sun and eternity. Lifting Elena's hand, he gently slides the ring onto her ring finger. Elena, next spring, when the ice on the Inari River melts and the small flowers bloom from the tundra moss, will you officially become the woman of this Sami family? We will guide the reindeer toward the summer pastures together, live through the radiant white nights, and when winter returns, we will sit by this hearth once more. Elena gazes at the silver ring shimmering under the mystical green aurora, then looks into Aslak's eyes, which are filled with love, sincerity, and absolute trust. She smiles, tears of happiness tracing softly down her cheeks, freezing quickly in the Arctic cold. She tightens her hold on his hand, resting her head against the warm chest of the man who saved her soul. Yes, Aslak, I do. Whether it is the season of the polar night or the season of the white night, from this day forward, wherever you are, that is my home. Beneath the magical Lapland sky, where the northern lights continue their endless, timeless dance, two people in midlife have found each other, warming one another with a love that is mature, deep, and as enduring as the Rocky Mountains of the Arctic. Hand in hand, they step back into the wooden cabin, closing the door behind them, leaving the wind and snow outside to keep singing the song of the great wild forest, while inside, the fire of their love burns on, peaceful and complete. The story of the winter love between Aslak and Elena imparts a profound message about love and life in middle age. Love is not the exclusive privilege of youth with its reckless, impulsive passions. At any stage of life, even in its second half, humans always hold the right, the opportunity, and the capacity to find true happiness, to discover a kindred spirit to share their journey. The life of each person is much like the changing seasons of the wild Lapland. There are times when we are forced to endure our own Kamo season, a period filled with darkness, cold, loneliness, and confusion after the heartbreaks, traumas, or losses of life. Yet, that darkness and cold are never a permanent end. They are merely a necessary pause, a cocoon of time for our souls to rest, grow still, and heal from within. When we are brave enough to keep our hearts open, daring to step past the prejudices of age and the scars of the past, we will realize that there is always a warm hearth and a radiant ribbon of northern lights patiently waiting for us ahead. The happiness of middle age does not reside in shallow vows, but in the silent understanding, the complete harmony of two souls that have walked through storms, cherishing the simple value of peace and a deep, unbreakable connection that lasts until the end of days. The story of the little wooden cabin in the distant border town of Utsjoki has drawn to a close, but its peaceful resonance lingers on, weightlessly enveloping the space around you. At this hour, inside Aslak's home, the fire from the ancient pine logs has also begun to wane, giving way to glowing red embers that quietly radiate a soothing golden orange light and a deeply comforting warmth. The small living room slowly dissolves into a soft, dim atmosphere, where the edges of objects become blurry and gentle under the deep polar night. Outside the window, the brilliant ribbons of the aurora are now moving at a slower pace. The wild dances of emerald and violet light begin to soften, shifting lazily before melting into the velvet black canopy of the Lapland night. The mystical green light casting into the darkened room fades bit by bit, like a delicate mist dissolving into the vast sky. The space outside the cabin and the space within your room seem to be merging in a beautiful harmony. You no longer feel the difference between the -30-degree cold of the tundra and the warmth of the hearth. Everything remains as a single sensation of peace, stillness, and absolute safety. The resonant beats of the shaman drum have ceased. The melodic joik has quieted, returning the ancient Arctic forest to its most primitive silence. The popping of the pine wood occurs only rarely now, a tiny, distant sound, like a whisper of time drifting into thin air. Your mind is also beginning to grow hazy. The images of the blue gakti, the wooden kooksy cup holding berry tea, or the silver ring shimmering under the northern lights, all are blurring, turning into floating trails of light, drifting weightlessly within the river of your consciousness. You feel that you no longer need to think, remember, or analyze anything at all. The story has fulfilled its purpose, acting as a small leaf boat, carrying your soul away from the busy storms of reality to arrive at the shores of rest. The connection and understanding of the two souls in the story act like a warm current, soothing the last tired corners of your mind. A sense of peace rises, filling every empty space. The boundaries around you are dissolving entirely. You can no longer distinguish clearly whether you are resting on your own familiar bed or leaning against the warm wool fabric of the Lapland cabin. The weight of your body and the support of the mattress have merged into one. You feel weightless, like a soft snowflake slowly falling from an ancient pine branch, free of gravity, free of haste, landing gently upon the soft earth. The silence of the Kamos night has seeped deep into your every breath. Your breathing now aligns with the slow rhythm of the wild forest, of the pristine snowy valley. You are letting go of all control of the mind. You are sinking into a peaceful, gentle void where the darkness is a gentle mother opening her arms to embrace you, soothing you, guiding you through the gates of a hazy slumber. Everything is fading, dissolving into the quietude of the endless polar night. Now, the darkness has enveloped everything completely. All images have dissolved. All sounds have receded into infinity. Only the absolute silence of the endless Arctic night remains, vast, immense, and filled with protection. There is no more story, no more characters, no more distant lands. There is only you, your breath, and a deep, profound sleep drawing near. Let yourself sink down. Sink even deeper. Each exhalation is a moment you release a bit more weight. Your body right now is like a soft ribbon of silk, drifting through a weightless void, completely free, completely light. Feel this silence as a fresh, gentle stream soothing your soul. You are safe. You are entirely at peace. Sleep now. Your breath is so light, so even. Inhaling, peace fills you. Exhaling, relaxation spreads. You do not need to try to listen anymore. Just let my voice turn into a blurry, distant background sound, fading away until it blends with the whispering night wind outside your window. Let your mind drift freely into the realm of sweet dreams, where the winter is warm and the hearth fire of love burns forever in your heart. As you sink into a deep and complete sleep tonight, remember that this warm hearth of ours is always here, waiting to welcome you back each evening. Tomorrow morning, when you awake with a body full of energy and a refreshed soul, please take a little time to return to this video. Leave a comment, share your sleep experience, or simply send a morning greeting to our peaceful world. Your interaction and return are the great inspiration that keeps this channel growing, keeping it a sanctuary that cradles sleep for you and for everyone. But that is a matter for tomorrow, when the radiant sun returns. For now, the night belongs to you. Sleep belongs to you. Let go completely. No thoughts, no worries, only true, genuine rest. Let this gentle darkness hold you. Release and sink deep. Sink into a beautiful sleep, deep and peaceful. Sleep well, dear traveler. Sleep so well. Sleep so deep. Peace, stillness. Sleep now. Sleep now.